Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you all here, hope you're all well. Bit of a marathon couple of days, just finishing off the hull. It came out really good, and yeah, I probably put in about 10 hours of painting yesterday, just of bits and pieces, and just you know, I obviously made the video shorter, but you know, I think overall it came out pretty well. So there's the ship. I'll look at it a bit more closely on the bench, but we're at another stage of getting this thing ready. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a catch up. All in all, this week I've probably spent 30 hours at least on the hull and the preparation and the painting and bits and pieces. Couple little mishaps along the way, but we got there in the end. Anyway, I just want to sort of say hello, and I'm going to get my coffee ready and I'll meet you at the bench. So here we are back at the bench. The paint's had quite a long time to cure now and would have pretty much gone right off. What I mean by cure is it kind of dries instantly, or not instantly, but within half an hour or so, but you've got to give it many hours to go hard. Last night I peeled the tape off, which I have just here. I'm going to reuse it because on the next piece I don't want it quite as sticky as it is. This is why I'm reusing it. And I also took it off last night because while it was still fairly fresh, is a good time to peel the tape off. Now I'm going to zoom in here for a minute, and I want you to just have a look at how crisp this line is. Let me find a good spot here that's easy to see. Hang on. Now, on the camera, it may look a little feathery because we are zoomed in a long way here. If I can just get my pointer. Okay, so there's the pointer. So what we still have under here, we still have that white tape just here, which has our black line underneath it. And the reason why you're seeing a bit of the grey over it is actually red over the white. Well, technically over the grey as well. But as I said, we're leaving this white line on here. I'm going to peel it off later on, hopefully revealing a nice black line with minimal repairs. I think overall the hull came out really nice, especially with all the work that went into it for the last few days. So I'll just zoom out, probably a bit easier, better view. Yeah, overall very happy with it and glad I spent the hours. So where are we at next? Well, what we have to now do is we have to now flip this over, because we have to now start to work on the camouflage. But before we do anything, so we don't ruin the red, I've got to recover this on that white line once again and protect all the red. So what I'm going to do is the tape that I had yesterday, which, hang on one second, which is this green stuff here. I really like using this stuff. It puts down a nice crisp line every single time, and it goes down. It's not like you have to force the line down or anything. It just, you lay the line down and that is the crisp line that you get without even trying. So it's really good. As always, I show you all the good stuff and the bad stuff. So when I peeled the tape off yesterday, I did have a little bit of mishap here. Can't really feel it with the fingers, but we are painting over this anyway. So what I will do is I'll give this a slight little rub down, and then when we paint in the camouflage, that'll cover that up anyway. And I still might just give it a little dry hit with the undercoat. So yeah, I'll just pause here for a second and get set up. The other thing I want to mention, I actually think these came out rather nice and fantastic looking. And I think for a couple of reasons. Because I had all the undercoat on there, and when I glue these down, these kind of melted the paint and sort of glued it all in one and gave a beautiful crisp line of the join. Now, I'm mentioning this because I'm in a bit of a dilemma. mostly because the plan states that these don't get painted. And I quite like the way they look, but I'm not sure whether I should paint the prop shafts or not. Nearly got tongue-tied again. The props themselves, I'm going to paint a nice prop colour and put them on there. But if you got an opinion on that, the drawing says red. I did kind of buy some colours to do it, but at the same time, this looks so nice, I would hate to mess it up. Anyway, so I'll continue on to get ready. So there's my tape from yesterday, and as I stated before, I'm going to reuse it because kind of the less stickier it is at this point, the better. And man, it still does stick good. So what my plan is, and I'll do it on this small piece, is to kind of get this paper, fold it up onto itself like that. So what we end up with is a very skinny sticky line to go back on the white section, and then so what you'll have is this over the white tape, this hanging down, and then what we'll do, we'll get some different tape. We'll get some of this tape here, and then we will mask it off, and we'll do some paper down on top of that to completely cover the hull, because from this point onwards you won't see the red hull again until the very end. So I've just folded that the first time. There's that one little sticky line, and yeah, it's you know, it's been used a bit, and you know, I've stuck it to other bits and pieces, and I kind of want that. I don't want it super sticky now. I just want it enough to protect the red paint. So I've just come back in, and I'm zooming right away, all the way in. Where's my little... Oh, it's over here. So you've only got a 2mm original line, so that's the original white line, and I really want to stick this stuff down hard. So you just got to make sure you don't go over this line now and impede on this side. But you do want to make sure it's stuck down really well. I've taken about 10-15 minutes just to stick this side down well, making sure that number one, I don't cross this white line, and number two, that it's really stuck down well. I'll just zoom along a little bit and show you just very quickly. There's a little spot there that can be fixed just there, because that's a leak. And we'll just, I'll go back over it again, but some of it I got a little close to the edge. What's that one there? That one needs to be restuck. Just getting that line down right on that edge. Basically just make sure you don't cross that white line. I know I'm on the borderline of crossing it, but I haven't crossed it. So, okay, and I'll just zoom out so you get a better view of what I'm at. There, now there. Now I'll do the other side. There's the tape folded over again. So there I've just roughly stuck the line down, and now I'm going to go through and just make sure it's all nice and crisp on that very line, and just, you know, seat it home nicely. At the ends, I never ever wrap them around and over. I do if I want to see where the line goes on the other side, but then I usually just bring both tabs out and nip them together. I've even done the same on the white one underneath. Two reasons really is sometimes when you roll them over, they can go off on a different angle because this one here is a different angle. And two, I just think it has a better seal when you come out both straight and then just seal them off. And probably the third reason is when you go to undo this, it's very easy to grab this tab and start peeling back this way without worrying about rolling over edges and scraping and stuff like that. So I did that on this end and also this end. Same with the white one underneath. They're just pinched together, and this one is the other side. Same reason that when I go to undo this, I can just flip this off. I'll pinch this again just on the very edge. And then, yeah, it's ready to go. So what we'll do now, I'll just finish sealing this stuff down all the way around. There was one spot I thought, did I get that? No, came very close to it. Now you're probably wondering, oh, you know, you're using tape again. You know, it might not seal that good, but it doesn't really matter. Even if it did bleed under here, we only got the white tape underneath, and I really don't think it's going to bleed all the way back another 2 more mils. So, and we're not using black. I mean, black just travels everywhere, but yeah. So if any of you have ever watched any body repair, like car body repair shows, you will have seen that they mask absolutely everything up. And this is exactly what we're going to do too. So I've got a strip of paper. I want some of the tape hitting the paper and some of it overhanging. I can see the shadow through the other side. Don't want too much tape overhanging, but about there, drop it on. A little extra, and what we'll do, I'll now rip that off. So what we have is a strip that's ready to go on top. So I'll make up a couple of these and I'll just sort of hang them off the bench, that way, ready to grab. Here I'll just repeat the process very, very quickly. Down, on top, bang, just like that. So there we have another 2 more ready. So I've got 4 strips. I'm allowing basically 2 for each side, and they're sort of smaller, so I've got plenty of room to work with them. So now we have our very concentrated line down. What we want to do now is we kind of want to build up another section, because we need to cover out the entire red of the hull, and this will actually help protect the ship while we're doing the rest of it. So again, we want to kind of go a little bit over, so we don't have to be too careful here. We just want this on top like that. Just like that. Now, I do want to mention something here about masking tape, because not all tapes are the same. Masking tape, if you're going to leave it on for a long period of time and you have a little bit of heat or whatever else, tends to leave residue when you take it off, which is the whole reason why I use the green stuff. And this stuff is basically like, I use it like a waste. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a project and put it on the same day and take it off the same day, or probably, you know, within 24 hours, you don't have any issue. But this is going to be on for quite a while, and this is why I'm doing it this way as well. So there's the front section on. Now the midsection, what we're going to do, I'll just bring that ship just back a bit so you can see. So again, we want to cover up and overlap what we've already got. So overlap the paper. Doesn't matter, if we need more strips, you can always make up more strips. So we just put that one down, whoops. Walk it along. That looks like that lifted actually. I'll fix that up in a second. And just, as long as you're on the red, or on the part that you don't care about, it shouldn't really matter. So the tape was long enough, but the paper wasn't. So I'll just come back, rework this line. It's probably getting forced around a bit and whatever else. There we go. Okay, so I'll just finish settling that one down and I'll come back. So here's the ship, and what we want to do now is we want to buckle this one over like so. I don't really want to put any tape on that one, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to chop that section off. What I mean by that is when I roll it over, I'll chop that section off. Yep, that works for me. And then what we'll do, we will just tack that section down. Sorry, I didn't realise out of view there. So we'll get a little bit of tape. Got to press pause there for a second. So we'll just put that nose bit down, and again, we're not touching the section that we're going to paint. And the whole point of this is just to protect all the hull. So now we've got this next section. So what we'll do, we'll prepare another bit of paper to come from here and overlap this way, and then we can tape all this down together. So I'll just pause it there. Here is the next piece, and again I'm going to overlap the front section just a little bit. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So we'll just drop that one down. Because we've got the tape underneath, we don't have to be too particular here. And just press that one home. Sorry, my finger's in the way. We want to kind of roll that edge over. I'll put a little bit there. Kind of roll that edge over. Put a little bit there. And as you see, we're not going to make it down the back, so we're going to need another strip to go right down the center. But what we can do, we can start to prepare this one just a little bit more. Doesn't matter if you crease it here, roll that over. I don't want that tape touching the hole at all, because of the reason I gave a few minutes ago. There we go. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be on there. Now I'll add the fourth piece, and again overlapping the rear end just a little bit and the front, so this one's alright. And we'll just sit this one on and bang that one over the top. Sit this one down, and then we'll start to settle him home. So at the back, I just folded this section over to roughly halfway through the ship. I'll bring this one over like that, and if you've ever packed up a package, well, as bad as I do, you'll understand what I mean. It'll be just as loose as this one. Alright, so we'll spin the ship around. So now we want to cover up and fix up the rear end here. So we'll just probably just chop that section off, just very carefully. There are some the props and stuff there, or the prop shafts. So I don't want to be pressed too hard down here. And we'll just prepare this one. So grab that piece of paper there, roll that one around, bring that one back, and just settle him home. And towards the end, because we've got a nice sharp point and we've kept leaving that tape out, we can just keep pinching that off now and making it nice. So what we have left is just the middle section. So we're going to need one more strip. There's the next strip prepared. As you can see, this one's a double strip. We want to plonk that one on here. Now I know normally what you do, you wrap in a package, you'd probably tape that down, but I do not want tape on the hole. So let's have another go at this one. Let's get the center done first, like that. And let's just roll this one back, like so. And then we can just roll that one over. And there we have it. Then we can fix up any little leaking spots and creases. Come back to the front. Roll that one over. And that one over. And we'll just go along, and little pieces like this that have got a little air hole, we'll just fix them up. Okay, so there you have it. There's our wrap boat. I just, ship I should say. Excuse me. I've just went over all the lines again and just made sure that they were all nicely pressed, but really from this section up, it's highly unlikely you're going to get any leaks. Especially, oh, there's one there we didn't do. Didn't see that one. Let's do that one right now. Which means it'll have one at the other end. We'll do it different here. Over the top, just there. So that this serves two purposes. Number one, to protect the boat, the ship, to protect the ship, and so we don't get paint all over the red section. So anyway, I had a big day yesterday, and painting that was a bit of a marathon day, and once I got into it I didn't really want to stop. So what I think we'll do, we'll call that there for today, and so we're almost ready to start doing the camouflage, which is, you know, this is getting into the good stuff now. But I think I think we'll just leave it there, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really liking the comments, and I'm glad you are all liking the content that I'm putting out. Anyway, I will hopefully see you next time, and yeah, bye.